Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get crafting. These are the supplies we're going to be using. 1 pack of long barbecue skewer sticks and 2 grass hula skirts from the Dollar Tree. We're going to take 3 foam squares from the Dollar Tree and glue them together as well. This is going to become our support system to be able to hold up our long skewer sticks. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a cut line where I know that I want all of them to be the same height. And then I'm going to use some pliers to just cut them and break them all apart. And we're going to need quite a few of these. I'm not going to give the exact number because I want you to be able to make the size you want. You can either do it really big or really small. It's depending on whatever size you want, and the possibilities of these baskets are endless. So you can see here that I am using 1 skewer stick and I'm getting 2 out of it because I'm cutting them down to size. And then what I did was I put my 2 longest ones out to the side and then I'm filling them in. So I have 2 long ones out to the side, they're kind of tilted out, 2 in the middle, and then there's 4 in between each of those joints. And then as you see from the top view, it creates an oval shape. That way we can create an envelope basket. Now we're going to take our hula skirt, and you can see that I'm just sliding these little knotted long pieces of raffia, or I guess hula skirt grass that they want to say it is. We need 6 of them, and so I'm just taking them, unwrapping them, and then I'm just gonna lay them all nice and flat so I can gather together 6, because every time you have 6 you're going to be able to weave them onto our skewer sticks. So right now, to start, I twisted it really tight just to make sure I had a nice knot to begin. I'm going to just knot that right around on one of the spots. And then once I've got that there, I'm going to go ahead and just start going in and out, in and out, in and out, all the way around the skewer sticks. Come up at the top, it's the easiest way to do it. I like to hold my finger down there at the bottom as I'm trying to weave back and forth so that way things don't pop off. In the beginning it is a little bit tricky getting it started just because the skewer sticks are not glued in. You do not want to glue them in, because when we're done we're going to pull them off, and I'm going to show you that step on how to finish the bottom side of your basket. But right now we're just doing the weaving part. So you can see here that I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and as you're going you're going to start noticing that there's going to be a pattern. You want to be on one side of the stick and then the next side when you pass it around the second loop, when you come all the way around the track. So at the end of your raffia, your long, I guess, hula skirt grass, you're going to want to make sure you're always tying back on the next section. So you can see here that I took the end that I was weaving with, and then I took 6 more, and I just tied a simple knot, made sure it was nice and tight enough, not too tight, you don't want a really obvious knot, but tight enough to hold it in place. And then I cut off the extra, and then as you're weaving it, those knots should just naturally fall on the inside when you're weaving it. Just make sure you're securing it towards the inside of the basket so you don't see the knots on the outside. And I just keep playing with this. This project was really fun, and surprisingly it only took me, I'm gonna say, probably about 40 minutes to do this. It really wasn't bad at all. I actually had something on I was watching on the Hallmark channel, since Hallmark's doing all their Christmas movies right now. So I thought, oh, I'll just watch a movie while I'm doing this, and it went really quick, and I was so impressed that I was able to make a basket out of just hula skirts and shish kebab sticks. Not shish kebab sticks, I always want to call them that. You all know that if you've been here for a while. Skewer sticks. So here I am. I'm just going to continue to create this pattern over and over again until I get to a height that I like. And at this point, just so you can see the details, this is what it looks like. It looks exactly like a basket, friends. Exactly. Can you believe this? Out of a grass skirt and some skewer sticks. Now for my summer DIY daily, I do have an announcement. If you have all seen, I actually have injured my jaw. I ended up tensing it too much while I've been sleeping, just because we've had a lot of crazy things going on here in our home, and so from the stress of things I have been tightening my jaw and it is not healing. So I actually need to take off this next 2 weeks. I'm so sad. I wanted to keep doing these, but I'm gonna be back on July 20th. Today I do have a featured person, and I want to make sure I give her a shout out before I take my break. My featured person today is Jamie over at SimpleRoot's Simple Living. Jamie is so sweet and she's so hardworking, and again, another person on YouTube that I would love for you all just to go and check her out and give her some love. If you like her channel, click her subscribe button, check around her wonderful videos and see what she has been up to. You will be impressed again by her talent and her craft. I just adore doing these features for these people. So make sure you come back on July 20th for my next featured person. Now at this point you can see that I have decided to stop. I really like the look of my basket right at this point, and I'm taking some hot glue, and this is how we're going to finish off the top to look really nice and polished. We're taking some hot glue and sticking it underneath the grass that we've weaved on, and we are going to just glue it all into place onto the sticks. This is going to create it to be nice and strong without anything falling off and having any issues. And you notice that I did that top part before I pulled off the bottom because I want to make sure it's nice and secure and in place. Then at the bottom you're going to just pull back what you have weaved onto those sticks. Pull the sticks out gently from the foam, and then repeat the process as well at the bottom, making sure you're gluing everything into place so everything is nice and snug. I didn't go crazy with the glue. I just put a couple little dots and make sure I push things down so that they would all hold into place. And then once that was all secure, I could go in and I could cut off the rest of the sticks. I also forgot to mention, when I went around that space with the sticks one last time weaving, I made sure I tied a knot, and then I cut off the extra of that raffia grass so that way it was nice and finished, and then I tucked the knot down in and glued that into place. Now that everything has been secure and it's over to the side, we're going to work on braiding some of this long raffia grass. I just took a knot, tied it at the top of several pieces of it, and when you're making your basket, I used about 1.5 grass skirts to make the basket part, and then this over here was what was left over. I used about 1/4 of the leftover of the grass skirt to be able to create this braided piece that we're going to be using at the bottom and for a hang-up handle for our basket. So once I braided all the way down, I tied a knot on the other side. And now we're at the bottom of the basket. We're going to pinch it closed. So you can see here that I'm adding hot glue, and then I'm using my pliers to just pinch it down in there nice and tight. I want it to be nice and secure. Once I went all the way around and I glued all of that into place, I was able to then go on with my braided rope that I just did, that you saw me do. And now we're just going to glue that around the bottom to make it have a really nice finish, and this is going to make it look like you weaved it at the bottom, having this braided rope here. Now I will give a shout out to my girl Yami from the Latina Next Door. She was the first person I ever saw take this raffia grass skirt from the Dollar Tree, and she braided it and made a really cute project. I'm going to link her video down below so you all can check out her project and how she used hers, because she definitely deserves a shout out. So go give her some love and let her know. That's linked in that video down below. I'll make it easy for you all to find it. Okay, at this point I wanted to give it that cute farmhouse look, because y'all know I love that. I'm taking some gingham fabric and I'm just cutting it down to size and wrapping it over the top. Now at this point I'm going to take that extra piece of that braid that we used towards the bottom, and I'm going to put it on the back. You could see there for a second I was thinking about maybe adding a darker rope to it, and then no, I still decided to stick with this lighter grass raffia. I really liked the way that it looked. And then I just tied another knot where I cut it off the extra from the bottom. And now I'm gluing it onto the back with a lot of glue. I want to make sure it's on there nice and secure, so this is going to be hanging up somewhere in my home. I think I'm going to hang it on the island in my kitchen. You'll most likely be seeing this in a home decor real soon. So then once I glued on that back part, and I also disguised it with an extra piece of fabric so it looks really polished, I took this round piece of foam that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and I put it down inside the basket because I wanted it to stay open and nice and chubby looking. We're going to use the word chubby, but I wanted it to look, you know, full. So now at this point I'm just taking some eucalyptus that I found really cheap during all of these sales they've been having, some hydrangea, and then some of the cotton stems from the Dollar Tree. Now we can stop here or add a little something extra, which you all know I love to do. I'm taking one of these little garden tags that they were selling at springtime. I popped off the back, added lots of hot glue, and just put that right on the front of my basket. If you're enjoying this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It means so much to me. And click the subscribe button and join me here on my channel as I'm posting videos all throughout the summertime and going into fall and Christmas. Our next project is so easy, very friendly to anyone who's a new crafter. I'm going to be using these books from the Dollar Tree, scrapbook paper that I had on hand, and then some lacy ribbon, as well as some rope I'll show towards the end. Now friends, I know anytime I ever rip apart a book on here, some of us cringe because I know some of you really love books and think that books should never be treated this way. But I want to promise you I would never rip up a book that is meaningful to our family. And but I really love decorating with books. I really just think that it is so farmhouse chic, and I love text paper, loved it for years. So if this is a hard one for you to follow along with, no worries, I totally understand. I won't be offended if you don't like this one. But for anyone who does like decorating with books, or you can find books that have really pretty covers on them, you can also avoid having to pull them off. But I really love having that raw book look to them, like they're really old books that you found that were just kind of abandoned in an old house, I guess. I don't know. I'm just taking these books, I'm roughing up the edges, I'm taking some scrapbook paper, cutting it down. I picked specific colors that I know I'm going to be decorating in this next couple of weeks in my home. I'm getting ready to switch my decor again. I always love switching up my stuff, almost like it's a store that you could walk into and things were always being changed up. So I'm going with a lot of greens and yellows and just neutral type summery colors, and I'm just gonna stack them up kind of wonky. I love the idea of these being wonky, like they just kind of got dropped down on a table somewhere, and that's how they landed. So you can see here that I'm just roughing up all the sides, all the edges, and I'm playing around with how I want them to lay. And then as soon as I get them in a spot that I want, I'm going to glue them down, and then I'll do the next one, shift it around a little bit, do the next one, shift it around a little bit. Now I will say I wanted to make sure that I could also stand them up, so I was making sure that one side was as flat as I could, but still where the books were kind of wonky and shifted around. The two end books, I made sure those were flat at the same distance or the same height on one side so I could stand it up. Then you can see here I'm adding some lace and some rope. The rope, when I went all the way around it, I noticed that it was causing it to be kind of tilted. So I decided to cut it. I'm fraying it out and gluing it in place so that way it will lay nice and flat when I put it down on its side. And then at the top, I'm just going to take some rope. I folded it in half, as you can see here. I'm going to do a simple loop knot, and then I'm going to cut off the extra, but before I pulled it too tight, I was adding in a lot of hot glue into the middle. That way so it stays nice and tight, and it's a really good secure knot, because this rope can slip out of knots sometimes. And like I said, this is going to be a decor piece I'm going to use forever and ever. Once everything was all glued and nice and tight, I cut off the bottom, and then I'm just going to simply add it right on top of my books, and I at that point can decorate it somewhere in my home. I hope you enjoyed my projects today. Leave a comment down below to let me know which ones you liked. Don't forget to go over and visit Jamie. And if you haven't already, come on by and say hi to me on Instagram. I'm always posting things over there. I'm always giving sneak peeks inside my craft room. And right now we're working on our front yard for my Heidi Sonboul home channel, and I've been giving lots of sneak peeks. So come on over and say hi and share what you're doing in your craft room. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and until the next time, bye friends.